So these success stories are all about how switching to a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating made losing weight sustainable and delicious. And you're going to see all types of people represented in this short little presentation that I put together. And the reason I have all of these different sorts of people is because I want you to, watch the different success stories and identify the one that is most like you, so that you know that you can do this for yourself as well. Okay, that's the main point, is that I want you to know. So when you see yourself in one of the stories, as you are now, that person was before, please type in the comments and go, that's me. Okay. Elisa says she'll keep me posted about her doctor's visit results. Please do. I can't wait to see. All right. So let's get started. Here we go. All right. So this is Joe. And you would not believe that when I first met Joe at yoga, let me wait until I see it on the screen. Let me make sure that you can see it. There's a little bit of a lag here. There we are. There's Joe. So I first met Joe at yoga. She used to come to my yoga class, and she was so big around the belly that it looked like she was having like triplets, and she's very, very tiny. She's about 5 feet tall. So, and she was very, very severely diabetic. Now, some people are that big and they're not diabetic at all. So what I want you guys to know is that diabetes and heart disease, high blood pressure, high glucose, high cholesterol, all of these things, autoimmune conditions, cancer, each one of these things, it affects every person differently. So you're going to see through these health success stories that I'm showing that some of the people are not overweight at all and had pre-diabetes. So here was Joe. She was very, very overweight. And I was talking to her about forks over knives. This was before I did my vegan coaching. And I would say 6 or 7 months went by, and it wasn't until her husband had a massive coronary heart attack that she came to me and she said, "What was that thing you said I should watch?" And so I told her, please watch Forks Over Knives. And if there's anybody on this live stream right now who has not watched Forks Over Knives, that's your homework for tonight when we're done here. Please watch that. So she watched it and she decided that on January 1st, she was going to do it. So she took the next few weeks. And so she decided this in December. So that's my point. Like a few weeks ago, I did a live stream about, when's the best time to go vegan for your health? And that is right now, right? So she decided to finally adopt a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating. And she started losing weight really quickly. And by quickly, I don't mean that she lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks. What I mean is that she started losing a pound a week pretty steadily and kept on going. That's what I mean. Like it started right away and it kept on going. And what she said is, before working with Naomi to adopt a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating last year, the endocrinologist gave me more and more medications, the more and more my belly swelled. Who here can relate to going to the doctor and they just give you more and more medications for high blood pressure, high cholesterol? If you have pre-diabetes or diabetes, they'll raise your insulin, raise your metformin, add another thing to that. It's just more and more and more and more. And they really don't tell you that there's anything that you can do about it on your own. And the purpose of this live stream is for you to know that you can do it on your own as well. And then you may not need those medications anymore. Okay? So just 8 months later, she came out of the endocrinologist's office. My endocrinologist congratulated me on my great blood work. This was the first time in 9 years that my fasting glucose was under 98. That's normal, you guys. I am off all injectable insulin, and I didn't leave the office feeling like crying. I am eating this easy, vegan, delicious, nourishing way of eating forever. So she's holding all these fruit. You'll see a lot of people did these fruit photos because we wanted them to hold the amount of weight that they lost in fruit. Now, if you look at that, she lost 12 pounds in 10 weeks when we did a weight loss challenge in my county, and I was able to work with her. So look at that 12 pounds. Like, it's hard to hold it, and look at what it would look like if you put it right against your body like that. And when it's in the abdominal area, it causes diabetes because those muscles are not muscles. Those cells are not meant to store fat. And that's why it causes insulin resistance. Those cells cannot open up and use the glucose. That's why your glucose rises, and it's all to do with the fat. So that's Joe's story. She has completely overcome diabetes and heart disease. So this is an amazing story, and look what she looks like now. How adorable is that? So, all right, so let's see who's next. Now, here's what I was talking about. This is Rosana. She had genetic diabetes risk. She had genetic high cholesterol and genetic high blood pressure, and she wasn't very overweight. I would say she was about 15 or 20 pounds overweight. Not very much, right? And she came to my screening of What the Health at the yoga studio. So you can see this picture of her, all the people. I think we had like almost 40 people in that yoga studio to watch that movie. And she watched that movie and she adopted the whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating immediately. And immediately her blood pressure went down and she immediately lost, I think she lost like 18 pounds in about just a few months. But she lost 20 pounds. But the most amazing thing is that she lowered her cholesterol 40 points and reversed her pre-diabetes diagnosis, eating all the whole plant foods that she wanted. Now look at her plate there. She's got pasta, she's got rice, she's got veggies, she's got it all, right? So all of that happened, but it wasn't until that she eliminated the oil. So I worked with her to eliminate the oil, and it made all the difference in lowering the cholesterol, the additional points. So a 40-point lowering is fast, especially if your cholesterol is like 200 or 210. You lower it to 180 or 170, and you are way into the normal levels. It's normal, and it'll only continue to go down from there. But the most amazing thing is the pre-diabetes gone, right? The doctor said, okay, you don't need any medications. That's done, right? So remember what I said, you guys. Let me know if you can see yourself in any of these stories, okay? Because I want you guys to like find where you're at, where this person was at, so that you know that you can do this too. Oh yeah, and also this presentation includes men, because I worked with a lot of men before I decided to really specialize in women. So this is Devo. He had chronic pain all over the place. He had high blood pressure, and he was pretty overweight. He was obese. And so he lost 30 pounds eating all the whole plant foods that he wanted in 10 weeks. Now, a lot of men can lose a lot of weight quicker than women, but also he had a really active job in construction. And so, that's totally possible because I've seen what he ate. He was a really good cook, and he ate a lot of beautiful rice and vegetables. He loved cooking Indian food and all kinds of things. He said, working with Naomi in the weight loss group really helped me realize the impact of removing oils and animal foods and junk foods from your diet and solely providing your body the whole plant foods it really desires to thrive. And the most amazing thing with Devo is that his chronic pain in his knee and his ankle it just went away. Now, look at all of that 30 pounds. Imagine that in fat on your body, right, you guys? So just imagine how that is. Ro, nice to see you here. This presentation that I'm showing is the presentation that Steve saw back in January at Dr. Ben Watt's office, that first turned him on to the whole food plant-based diet, and then he decided to adopt it. And how many pounds is he up to now? More than 60 pounds lost? Something like that? Let me know, Ro. This is the presentation that he saw, and I never showed it in this group or online. I show it only, live. So here I am showing it. This is Davo. Imagine that 30 pounds in fat, like what it does to your body when it's sitting on top of your body like that, right, you guys? All right, let's see who's next. So this is Charla, and she also had genetic diabetes and obesity in her family, and she had high cholesterol, and she had her gallbladder removed. Now, you guys know that gallstones and gallbladder problems are caused by a very fatty diet, and that fat and oils exacerbate that. And she had this surgery, and the doctor told her when she, when she came to, that she had fat surrounding all of her organs, and that stuck in her mind, and she felt like she was suffocating in fat, and she used that image to really propel her forward. And she adopted a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating. She went all the way. She lost 20 pounds in 10 weeks. She ate all the plant foods that she wanted. She said, Naomi taught me how to eat whole plant foods the right way, and the weight started falling off and freed me from that frightening image of fat suffocating all my organs forever. So again, 20 pounds, look how hard it is to hold. Look how big it is, right? Imagine that extra weight on your knees and your ankles. Is it any wonder that they hurt? Donna says, had my gallbladder out already. Yeah, so now you know why, and now you know what it looks like inside when you're very overweight, what it really looks like inside. There's fat around all the organs. So you can see yourself in this story, perhaps. But Charla completely reversed her pre-diabetes, and she lost the weight, and she no longer has high cholesterol or high blood pressure, and she only sees the doctor once a year, and it's a clean bill of health. So that's another amazing story. Let's see who's next. Okay, so Amanda called herself a junk food vegan. She came to me and she said, I'm a junk food vegan, and I can't stop eating these foods. I'm eating all processed foods. I eat so much junk foods. I'm so heavy. I don't know what to do. I'm already vegan, but I know that there's a better way to do this. Is anybody on here? Can anybody relate to that? So here's what she said about it. She said, essentially, my attachment to junk foods that didn't serve me was severed, and I'm now attached to whole plant foods. This was exactly my goal from the beginning, and I feel it has been fully actualized. So she came to me because she knew that there was a better way to be vegan, and she wanted some support for adopting that whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating. And so that's what we did. And she lost 18 pounds in 10 weeks. Now she is Davo's partner. So they were eating together. So this proves that eating the rice and the veggies and the potatoes and the soups is a weight loss magic. So Patty says, me to the junk food vegan, right? You knew there was a better way to be vegan. And so the beautiful thing that a lot of people don't know is that when you are addicted to junk food, the whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating can break that addiction. If you give it a chance, it can break that addiction and, you know, allow your taste buds to come down to the natural tastes of food and to be very sensitive to that and to be thrilled by those natural tastes. And so it's really a healing for your appetite, and it's a healing for your taste buds, and it's a healing for your mind, because there's no more of this guilt and shame about what you were eating. There's no more worrying about it. You eat until you feel full, and you just overcome it. It just goes away. That's how it was for me. That's how it's been for Patty so far, right, Patty? You know, some food addiction can be stronger and take longer, but generally you eventually stop cramming it all into your mouth, and you eventually calm down. And I know, because I was 40 pounds overweight, and I also, I struggled with bulimia when I was in my 20s. And so I know that whole binge, starve, shame, guilt, food cycle. And this way of eating has completely solved that for me. And I can't believe what a weight off my shoulders that really is. Right, Patty? Patty says yes, and down 23 pounds. Today's weigh-in Wednesday in the Plant Empowered Weight Loss Group, which Patty is a member of. And she weighed in today, another pound down. She's been losing weight steadily since June, a pound. It's just been fantastic. So this story of Amanda is almost the same story as Patty's, but I do not have Patty's success story in this presentation, but I do have it where I'm going to tell you Patty's story a little more in depth in tomorrow's Ultimate Carbs webinar, because it took more than just one page of the thing to tell her story, because it's such a great story. Okay, Patty, I hope you're okay with that. This is Dwayne, who weighed over 300 pounds, and he saw the documentary Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead. Do you guys ever see that one? That's the one about the guy who goes juicing for months. And now, obviously, I do not recommend juicing as a way to do any of this. It's not necessary. The whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating is enough of a detox on its own. Plus, you will love it and be able to stick to it. But anyway, this is what Dwayne wanted to do. He did all that. He lost about 80 pounds, I think. He did like a 6-month juicing spree. And this was 2 years ago. And then at the time when I was doing this weight loss challenge, he still, you know, he had 20, 25 pounds. He still wanted to lose, to get down to 200 pounds. He's over 6 feet. So Dwayne lost 19 pounds in 10 weeks, eating as much plant foods as he wanted. And this is what those 19 pounds look like all around his body. So imagine putting those bags of fruit like on your ass or on your stomach or on your chest, or, you know, just imagine that. Imagine it being on your heart and on your lungs. And that's why obese people have sleep apnea and need a CPAP machine. It's because of the weight that is on their lungs when they're laying down, and their trachea and their sinuses, like the weight of it all. So also imagine that weight on your knees. Imagine that weight on your arch supports, on your ankles, on your toes. This is why your legs and your back hurt. So can you believe that a little over a year ago, Dwayne weighed over 300 pounds? So, this challenge is my final push toward my goal weight of 200. What a pleasure it is to eat foods, enjoy carbs, lose weight while getting healthier and stronger every day. So this is something like, I think Patty might be able to relate to this. It's like when you eat your food and you're like, oh my God, this is so delicious. And I'm getting stronger every day, and I'm losing weight every day, and I'm becoming a new person that I always wanted to be every day. And when you can say that about your actions or something you're doing, it propels the results forward. So All right, here's somebody else who was not overweight at all, but she had stubborn high cholesterol and high blood pressure. And she was a personal trainer, and she looked like that. So, you know, I don't know why or how she had this stubborn high cholesterol and blood pressure, but she knows, she's saying it was the food, it was the oils, it was the animal foods. So, she says, before meeting Naomi in June 2017, my blood pressure was high and my cholesterol was 240. After watching What the Health and learning from Naomi how to eat delicious, easy to make homemade plant foods, by August 3rd, my blood pressure dropped way down to perfectly normal, and my cholesterol dropped to 202. By December, it was down to 192, and a year later, it was down to 155, and I've never felt better or stronger. It's the animal foods and the oil that cause my problems, and now I know what I need to do from now on. Okay, so I really want you to feel into the way that this works for everybody, no matter what body type, no matter what chronic disease state they're in, no matter what illness, whether they're overweight or not, or obese, or how long they've been obese. This works for everybody. And it's not just one diet for cancer, one diet for diabetes, one diet for heart disease, one diet for blood pressure, one for chronic pain. No, it's the same diet for everybody, for everything. So does anybody else see themselves in any of these stories? So this is Judy, and at 242 pounds and age 70, Judy got brave and joined my weight loss group, and she adopted a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating, and she lost 33 pounds steadily, right? And she's still losing. That amount was so heavy, we needed a basket to hold it all. But imagine what it was doing inside her body, because she is a cancer survivor. So here's what she said. As an obese cancer survivor, I had elevated liver enzymes, elevated glucose levels, chronic pain, and high blood pressure. I'm now relieved and ecstatic. At my last blood work check, my liver enzymes and glucose levels were normal and my blood pressure was down. I'm now taking half of a pill for blood pressure. I finally learned you really can eat guilt-free, lose weight, enjoy it, and watch your health turn around. My best advice is don't wait, do it now, right? Let's see. Donna says, awesome info, inspirational, makes me want to do it. Oh, yes, that is the point of this. This makes you want to do it. I want you to know that you can do this. Deb says, yes, I can imagine losing all the extra weight on your joints and knees, especially when you already have bone on bone, would really help. Donna says, I see myself in all because I have a big family history of breast cancer, heart disease, and I myself am overweight and high blood pressure. And I am a cancer survivor, breast cancer. So yeah. So she was 70 years old and she didn't let that stop her, and she didn't make an excuse about that. And she came out of her shell and she joined that weight loss group, and she paid up the money, and she learned how to talk in front of the other women and to express herself and to let it out. And she was able to heal herself, and she's still losing weight. So it's just amazing to watch the transformations like that. What about those of you who hate what you see in the mirror, who don't like what you see in the mirror, who shy away from mirrors, who hide in pictures? I was at an event this past weekend where we screened the documentary Code Blue at the Green Culture plant-based restaurant in Trinity, where I live. And there was a woman from the group, from our group, this group here. She's not on this live stream because she doesn't really participate in the live streams and things, but she came to this live event and introduced herself to me with her friend who's also a member of this group. And I wanted to take a picture with them in front of the cool screen that they had there. And she told her friend, get in front of me, block me out. That's the same thing, like that feeling that you want to hide in pictures. And Carmela was saying that she used to not feel comfortable in her own skin. She was always uncomfortable and didn't like what she saw in the mirror. And I've heard that commonly from so many women. It's so sad. And I remember feeling that way myself. So Carmela, not anymore. I felt like a princess in that dress, and for the first time liked what I saw in the mirror, and I felt comfortable in my own skin. So, it sounds shallow, but it's actually very deep for women to be able to look at themselves in the mirror and like what they see. And I can tell you there's no greater pleasure than that. Personally, I know exactly how that feels, and it's absolutely wonderful to be able to slip on clothes and be like, isn't that cute? But even if you're 100 pounds overweight and you adopt a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating, when you look at yourself in the mirror, even though maybe you still don't like what you see, a great way to propel yourself forward is to tell yourself something empowering. Right? You look in the mirror and you tell yourself a new story. You don't drag that old story of I don't like myself in the mirror. You tell yourself a new story, which is I'm doing something about it right now. And this is going to work, and I'm strong, and I'm doing it. And you tell yourself that, and you will manifest that. You will bring yourself into alignment with that experience, and you will see, as Patty has seen, and all of these women and men in this presentation, that it just snowballs down from there in a fantastic way. So, okay, so this is Heidi. She was only 30 pounds. 25 or 30 pounds overweight. So not terribly overweight, but 30 pounds classifies as obese. So here's the thing about Heidi, though. Like, she was not sure if the whole oil-free thing was necessary. And so she asked me about that. She asked me about the weight loss group. We got on a call. She asked me about this oil thing. And I said, you know what? Why don't you ask the group for their experiences and see what happens? And so she asked the group. She got about 54 comments saying what a difference it made to remove the oil and the junk food. And then she plunked down her money and joined that weight loss group. And here's the thing, though. She was like, she said to me, she was like, you have 10 weeks because I made a doctor's appointment and I need to turn this all around in 10 weeks. The doctor says I have prediabetes. I am on the verge of high cholesterol and the verge of high blood pressure. And he said if I did not reverse it and fix this situation, that I was going to be given meds for all three of these things. And so she said, we gotta fix this. I feel like she said, you gotta fix this, but really she's gotta fix it. She was like, you have 10 weeks. So I will tell you, she attended every single weight loss group meeting. She did every bit of homework. She went through the learning curve. She had the talk with her husband. Her husband was totally supportive and tried all the foods. She packed lunches because she's a working woman. She got on a call. She used her free coaching calls and she got on a call with me when it was time to go on a vacation. And she, needed help to figure out what was she going to eat while she was gone under all these different circumstances. And she did every single thing I said to do, including talking about her fears, talking about her limiting beliefs, finding out what they are, turning them upside down. She did everything. And when she went to the doctor, she was down 15 pounds. Her blood pressure was normal at 123/79. Her A1C was normal at 5.4, and so was her cholesterol. I'm so relieved, she said. What I learned is you need to be all in for whole food, plant-based, no oil eating to see measurable health results. I wasn't sure before I joined this group, but I knew if I tried it, I could stop wondering if I could really stop the downward health spiral I was in. And I did it. Can you imagine for yourself, what will that feel like when you've done it? You're seeing all of these people do it. What will it feel like when you've done it? So this is Travis. And so he was 350 pounds and he had a gastric bypass surgery. But his story is that even 6 months after the gastric bypass, he still felt like shit. He still had high cholesterol. He still had diabetes and he still had high blood pressure, right? So when he adopted a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating, he reversed his diabetes. He now takes no medications and he maintains his new 210-pound weight at 6.2, no matter how much whole plant foods he enjoys or eats. And he says, I think my body has hit its happy place. All my ailments, diabetes, high cholesterol, hip, knee, and back pain, low energy are all gone thanks to discovering this delicious whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Even my kids are doing well with it. And look at him. Like, what if that was you? Look at what he looked like before and look at what he looked like now. It's amazing. It's amazing the transformation that you can have. And here's me on the right, 40 pounds overweight. So, and this is not even as bad. This is actually 30 pounds overweight. And before I had breast cancer. So when I finished breast cancer treatment, I was 40 pounds overweight. I looked even worse because not only that, I was bald. So that was me on the standard American diet. And on the left, that's me, 40 pounds lighter, reduced breast cancer risk, and on this whole food, plant-based way of eating forever because it's delicious, right? And that's what I stand for. I stand for women empowering themselves with this way of eating and sharing it with everybody they know, their families, their friends, their coworkers, and watching the ripple effects move outward because women have that power. And so I stand for women standing in their power. And if I can do it and all of these people in my presentation can do it, so can you, right? So I hope that this has inspired you. Definitely join me tomorrow for the Ultimate Carbs webinar. If you need the link and you have not signed up and registered for that, you have to register. You also have to register for that if you want my no oil sauce boss booklet. That is my webinar bonus for you guys. If you want that booklet, you have to register, and it's my all-time best no oil sauces for saucing your carbs so that they are delicious. And you're going to love that. These are my all-time favorite sauces. I have a sweet one, a garlicky one, a cold one, a hot one, and an Asian one. Is that 5? You're going to love them all. So definitely join me for that. If you want to talk about the 12-week Plant-Empowered Woman online group weight loss program, go to chat.goingveganforhealth.com and book in a time to talk to me. If you go and book in a time, there is a series of questions there. And throughout those questions, you will be able to get a sense of what the program is about, as well as giving me some information about your own health issues and weight loss issues so that we can hop on a Zoom video call and we can map out a plant-based plan for you. So definitely, if that's something you're interested in, if you want this kind of health transformation and you have not been able to do it on your own, and you are ready to admit that you do not know what you do not know, then definitely go to chat.goingveganforhealth.com and let's hop on the phone.